Let's talk a little bit about like I'm curious about the actual like practical process of it. Because I actually
Okay.
this a little bit more, and there's not really very many interviews about this. It just kind of floats from one thing to the next. But I'm curious about practical things. So you show up to like a stadium of some sort, right? And there's just thousands of people. Is literally every person going to be allowed a time to sing?
Well, you have to, yes, for the cattle call is what they call it. So
Cattle.
you show up
Oh, that
and
sounds horrible.
this like stadium, um, and yeah, you just kind of wait in line and you have a number and you go through many rounds. So the first round for me, well, for everyone, but my experience was I went through the first round of producers, and then they just hear you sing. They don't hear anything really about your story or what you're about.
You sing a whole song, or you sing like a part?
You sing like 15 seconds.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, super quick.
Wow.
It feels like a lifetime at some point because there's so much happening. You got other people singing on side of you, and yeah, thankfully they put me through, and then the next round was I'm trying to remember if I like had to do paperwork first or but the next round was the higher producers, and um, they want to get to know a little bit more about you at that point. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a stretch over a couple of weeks, and then um,
So a stretch over a couple weeks before like actual.
before the actual judges, before the
Got
the
it.
lot, before the TV, the cameras, the Ryan, before all of that comes into play, it's
Wow.
a stretch of time. So you're kind of just sitting on pins and needles, like what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's very nerve wracking for sure.
I
I know.
imagine. I can't imagine. What was do you remember the 15-second bit of song you sang?
No. I really do not. I mean, there's like so many you know, options that you could do.
Oh, so they had like a book or something you picked a song from? Is that how it works? Or
They usually do, yeah. And then when it comes down to what's on TV and what's recorded,
yeah.
they have songs that are cleared so they can air them. Or you could do an original that you have written yourself. So for my audition for the judges, I actually sang an original song, which didn't show my range at all. It was like very singer songwritery, and I think I was just kind of like, y'all know I can sing. That's why I'm here. Because not thinking about this is like the first thing that people are going to see, right?
I in
So
your
I was just kind of like in my own head of like, well, here's a little bit of my story. And so I sang the song when I'd written, and yeah, they put me through, but they never aired my audition, and I think that's the reason why, because they knew, well, Kree has a voice and is a songwriter, but we want, you know, to showcase her. So they didn't air my audition, but they did air the next thing that I sang, which was Stars.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that is making the decision to choose an original song. How is that looked upon? Like I don't know, is that considered a smart choice, or for everybody it's different where people looking at you like, "Oh god, don't do that. Don't sing an original."
Kind of both. Well, I would say just for me, and I don't want to give poor advice to anybody else because genuinely I didn't know what the hell I was doing either. It was just kind of like day by day. But I find that when you're trying to connect with people and you're trying to win over something, automatically, it's just the truth that people gravitate towards covers because they know it. They don't have to think about it, and then they're focused on your voice or your personality. And so I think that that's a lot of the reason why I chose to not do originals myself.
Got it.
Um, but that being said, there's been numerous times where people have done uh, their own originals and they absolutely killed it. And that's what won them over. the audience over. So I just think that it's situational.
Yeah, that makes sense. Every performance,
Yeah,
every night, every performance, what you're feeling, how you're if you're
totally.
song. I get it. No, that makes sense. God, that's a lot to. That is a lot of.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like just a nerve wracking. And plus, you know, you're gonna be on TV in front of millions of people. You know, I just can't even imagine all that, you know, sort of pressure. But obviously, you handled it absolutely beautifully. You know, to be honest, you could never tell in your performances if you ever had nerves. Not from the ones I saw.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
Well, I think, performing is just something that, that is a part of me. I think that part comes natural, but the adrenaline rush and the nerve wracking thing for me was always the fact that I'm having to emote to a camera, rather than just like a live audience, which there was, at a certain point. But Idol definitely taught me how to do that. And I think that that's something that, I really, really, I really appreciate it, to be honest. Because it's super nerve wracking to all of a sudden have a red light in your face. But, but again, I guess you have to do a little meditation and put yourself somewhere else and remember that this is what you do. So it'll all be fine at the end.
It'll all be fine in the end. Absolutely.
This too shall pass. As you're being blinded by a red light. It's fine. It's fine.
I bet that's a lot of mirror time. That's what I would imagine. I bet eventually you're just like, okay, we're going to practice this in the mirror. I don't know. That would be my solution, I guess. I
wish that I would have known. I wish I would have known that before, because I think maybe that would have benefited me. I was just generally like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wanted to have fun with it more than anything. It really helped too that I became so close to the crew and the band and, anybody involved within this live show. I mean, it's a machine.
Yeah.
So it's insane how much goes into it and how many people it takes to make this work just live at 5. So, I think by me, never meeting a stranger, I don't know if it's like the Southern, my like country coming out or not, but I just knew everybody, and I had become really good friends with a lot of the crew. And so I think that helped my nerves as well.
Absolutely. Well, that's a very Texas sort of Southern thing to do, right?
Oh.
To get to know everybody, get to know their names, how your kids doing. That's exactly something I would do.
I mean, it's so boring to just be like, to talk about the weather. I'd rather do anything else. So to get to know these people was easy and also important to me, because I spent like a year of my life with them.
Gosh.
Because it's a long ass process. It is.
That is insane. That is insane. So when you're on, so when it gets to the point, right, you're getting through the rounds, right? So now you're in the top this, top that. You're staying in a hotel, right? You're going. Do they pay you as a contestant or whatever to be on the show?
Well, it depends on how far you go. So they'll pay for your stay.
Oh, that's good.
Once you're like, right. Once you're like, top 40, and obviously feed you and stuff. But once we were doing live shows and not just tape stuff, so I would say probably like top 10. That's whenever we start getting paid, as being on TV. Or
nice.
They also put us up in this amazing place, which is one of my favorite places in LA now, called the Sunset Marquee. And I mean, this was just like our own little oasis where the top 10 stayed. And it had, genuinely, like, it looks like a rock star's like fairy garden. Like, it's very vibey. There's a studio downstairs where we recorded. There's people like Steven Tyler or Vince Vaughn just like, what's up, walking past you.